Hello everyone, and welcome to another Transformers review. This time we've got a G1 Targetmaster Junior, but a Decepticon one this time. This one is Spinister. It's obviously modelled on a Apache attack helicopter. Obviously colour scheme's a bit way out, as the late G1s into the G2 sort of era were getting a little bit wacky with their colours. It's quite a nice vehicle mode. As you can see, I'll bring it in for a little bit more detail. At the moment he's got both nebulan Targetmaster weapons attached to it in its vehicle mode, and as you can see you get Decepticon logos all over. Obviously in this mode you've got spinning propellers at the back and on the top, which work reasonably well. Again, quite nice detail, some quite nice sticker details and that on this mode. And as I say, you've got the two nebulan Targetmasters, which is Singe, which I believe is the black one, and Hairsplitter, which I believe is the purple one, but we could be wrong on that. A nice little compact vehicle mode, not a lot of robot kibble, nothing really to scream that it's a robot in disguise, which is quite nice for a G1 figure. Now the nebulans just unpeg from there. I'll leave them in their Targetmaster mode for now, because I'll show you them as the weapons in robot mode, which I'll now transform him into. Now, best way around to do this is first to flip up the front helicopter section. Now, it can be a little bit tricky getting past the black parts on the, which are like the little wings of the helicopter. Now, I always fold the blades like so, and that means you can flip them up. It gives you a bit more clearance and swing that right round, and that obviously becomes his legs. At this point you also have got to spin the top section round, so you need to get the black parts open a little bit so you can flick the blades down out of the way, but leave them like that for the minute. Then you want to turn the whole top section round so you get all the sticker details to the front. And now is a good time to get the blades separated, and I bring them up to about a position like so, and then fold what was the tail of the helicopter over and down, and that sort of holds the blades in place, makes them look a little bit like almost like he's got swords on his back or something like that in his robot mode. They take a little bit of fiddling with to get them positioned right, but they look better out the back. Then you can finish folding up the little black wings out of the way onto his waist, and then on the back, which was the underside of like the engine pods of the helicopter, you've got his lower arms, which are just held in there. You just got a little nib to get your nail on to flick it round, and they flick round like so. And I'll do that one so you can see. Just flick it round and bring it round, and it clicks into place. And there you've got his arms. Now, downside of this, which I'll mention now, is the fact his arms don't come up at all, which is a little bit of a shame. You only really needed a little hinge joint up the top here at the shoulder, and his arms could at least have gone out straight. A little bit of a design flaw on that particular figure, and something like obviously G1s did suffer with articulation problems. And then to finish the transformation is just to turn the head round, which reveals his face, which I'll bring in close to the camera so you can have a good look at some of the details there. As I say, some nice sticker details. It's suffering a little bit with wear, which obviously for a figure what was new in 1988 it's obviously a good few years old. It's over 20 years old, so you're going to get a little bit wear and tear. Generally though, it doesn't suffer with any particular wear problems. All the joints seem to stay pretty tight. No real sort of like problems with paint coming off. The only place to watch would obviously be the canopy paint, but that's not really in a place where you're likely to rub it. The rest of it is solid moulded coloured plastic, so other than scratches isn't a wear and tear issue. And then, as I say, you can put his weapons into his hands, but unfortunately you can't aim them, which is a real downside for any robot warrior figure, really. Let's face it, if he's got to lay on his back to shoot you, it's not brilliant. Obviously for display it's fine, you know, stand it at the back there with your Decepticons. It's going to look good in that sense, but there are a few tweaks they could have done. It wouldn't have hurt if his legs could have come apart a bit, it wouldn't look so spindly. But then I suppose his name is Spinster, so again, ironically apt for him. As with all of these junior Targetmaster weapons, you can fold them up and attach them together to make a more powerful gun, so it would be a double blaster. But again, that doesn't mean you can actually aim it at anyone anyway. So again, a bit of a shame. Even if they'd have had some spare holes, you could have had them as a shoulder cannon or something. But again, another missed opportunity by Hasbro. And as I say, you just fold the barrels up with all these junior Targetmasters to make them into their nebulons. Now the unusual thing between these two nebulons is the fact that I'm going to try and get the names right again, on Singe, which I believe is this one, his peg is at the bottom, which, well, let's just say that looks a little bit weird, and I'm sure a few of you are probably coming up with your own ideas what that could be. And the other one, Hairsplitter, his peg is on his chest, which is a bit more common for their position. No real idea why they did that, to be honest. It would have been more sensible that they keep them the same, but I don't know. That's a sort of strange little thing, because obviously the barrels of that weapon are up on top and that weapon are at the bottom. So there you go. I'll give you a closer look and get that into view in focus. They're quite nicely little detailed and picked out in a few colours. It's not quite showing up colour wise, it's a little bit better, but he is actually blue, purple and grey. And I'll show you a close up of the weapon mode of him. And he's got like a 4-barreled gun mode, which they have even slightly picked out the front of the barrels with a slightly different colour, which is just about showing up there, which is, you know, nice little touches. And the same goes for Singe. If I'm wrong on the names on this, I do apologise. But again, they picked out the front of the weapons in a different colour, which, you know, I think that's quite a nice little touch to have that. And again, I'll show you figure mode, which obviously the colours pick out better because it being on black. But again, quite nicely detailed, nice little bit of moulding, sort of like the shoulder cannons and that on the figure. So that is quite nice. It's a shame in a way that the peg is on the front and not round on the back. That it's sort of hidden and makes the figure actually look more like a little figure. But again, there you go. It's another little quirk of the time. All in all, the junior Targetmasters, although a little bit simplified and a little bit sort of G2 in their colour scheme, they are nice. They are nice figures, if a little bit unstable because he's got wheels on his feet. But definitely worth a go if you can pick them up reasonable. They're not worth spending a fortune on, but I definitely recommend them, especially if you're a completist, again, from the G1 line. I suppose most of us older collectors are a bit of a sucker for G1 because that's what we grew up with. But yeah, I'd recommend him, and the other ones, which I will be doing some reviews on those as well. So I hope you enjoyed that review. If you want to comment, or if you've got any suggestions or any Transformers you'd like to see, please feel free to comment, and I shall see you again for another review.